The goblin fern, which requires a thick layer of leaf litter on the forest floor, is disappearing from North American forest. Okay, so the goblin fern requires a thick layer of leaf litter and it's disappearing. Okay. In spots where it has recently vanished, this leaf litter is unusually thin, and unlike those places where the fern still thrives, is teeming with a European earthworm, LR, which eats leaf litter, LR, is thus probably responsible for the fern's disappearance. All right, so our conclusion here is that LR is probably responsible for the fern's disappearance. And why do we think that?
Because it's teeming with this.
We got a lot of these earthworms.
Yeah.
And it eats leaf litter. So we have all of these earthworms and it eats leaf litter. Okay. And where the fern is still thriving, it's not like where it thrives, there's not teeming with earthworms. What kind of flaw is going on in this argument? It's hard to see because in common sense world, it makes sense, but it's still that kind of flaw.
Like the correlation or
yes. No? Yes, because two things are correlated doesn't mean that just because it's correlated that the more earthworms we have, the less what is it? The less fern. The goblin fern, who's a leaf litter, is disappearing in spots where the leaf litter, or we have less leaf litter. Just because these two things are correlated doesn't mean the earthworm is what's causing this, right? We're assuming that it's what's causing the leaf litter to go down, and the leaf litter going down is what's causing there to be less fern. All right, so we're looking at like what's something that's needed in order for the LR to be responsible for the fern's disappearance. All right, so let's go ahead and start with A.
Whenever there's a thick layer of leaf litter in the North American forest, goblet ferns can be found. I don't think that really does anything.
I don't think we have to have it in every, like, because we're just saying that the goblin fern requires leaf litter or thick leaf litter. That doesn't mean that it has to be everywhere.
None of the earthworms that are native to North America eat leaf litter. That would like weaken, right?
Yeah, well, we're talking about European earthworms, but we don't care about like, just because none of them, that's way too strong. Like, what if one of them eats leaf litter? That doesn't do anything.
Dead leaves from goblin ferns make up the greatest part of the layer of leaf litter on the forest floors where goblin ferns has recently vanished. I want to say that I chose this one. Dead leaves from the goblin ferns make up the greater part of the layer. Yeah, I don't know, because I was like, okay, if they do make up a greater part of the litter, like the layer on the forest, and they're like, I don't know. I guess it doesn't.
Do we need dead leaves from goblin ferns to make up the majority of the leaf litter, though?
Right, and that's when I remember like questioning myself, and I was like, we don't
like,
have
what if it's like the I don't know, Buckeye trees and the oak trees? Like, does it matter what percentage?
No.
Because these earthworms are going to eat it anyways. So
yeah, okay. There are no spots in the forests of North America where both goblin ferns and earthworms of species LR can be found. Well, that doesn't help.
There are no spots. Like, yeah, like we don't need there to be no spots. So essentially what this is saying is like we either have the fern or we either have the LR or we either have these earthworms, and that just doesn't have to be true. They can be overlapped a little bit. We're just trying to strengthen this correlation thing, right? Awesome. So we can cross D off. What about E?
LR does not favor habitats where the leaf litter layer is considerably thinner than what is required by the. See, that makes sense now.
Because like What happens if we negate it and we say LR favors habitats where the leaf litter layer is considered a leaf favor?
Then and it just destroys our argument.
Yeah, so it's probably not the worms that is responsible for the fern's disappearance. This is just naturally a thinner area than normal.
Yeah.
It eliminates this, like it strengthens the idea of that correlation actually being the cause.
And I remember looking at that and I was just like, I don't get it though at the time.
That's a hard question.
Oh,
But I think these are ones that, like, for you to get to the next level is you can focus really on just crossing off wrong answer choices. And while you don't understand E, you can see why the other four are wrong. And you
yeah.
give yourself a chance to get it right.